And then we're just going to turn it over to Craig for talk about Claude a little bit. Then it may be Q&A after that, that kind of thing. So that's our agenda here. Sound okay, everybody?
Sounds good.
So let me got the record button going, host tools, share. Let's see. Does everybody see my screen now? You see it?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Just there was a little bit confusion about, and I think Craig may would come where he's put some of the materials at, but all your videos are on this left-hand side here that looks like a file folder. It says AI author. When you click on that, you should come to these lessons here. I'll click on it again here.
Yeah, I missed the picture.
And then, so it says 7 lessons here in view, and you just scroll down and all the videos and some of the supporting material are right here in all these areas. So if you go to the one we did last week, you click on the eye and there's the video. Now I wanted to give you, and then you come back and then the presentation is, the PowerPoint type of thing is right here. Okay. So there's that. Now I did want to let you know, and I will, and then down here where the clipboard is at, is also resources where you see the paper clip type thing is where Craig has put a lot of the other documents. So Craig, do you want to say anything about any of this before we move on?
Yeah, just don't blame me for the icons. Those appear to be completely random, put in by Heartbeat. So don't try to figure out why the custom gem is a devil or whatever that's supposed to be.
Yeah.
Brad, well, I think you need more browser tabs open though.
Oh, you think I need some more? Yeah, that's my story of my life, and I X'd out of about 20 before we got on here today. So there's that.
I'm not seeing your screen. I can't figure out why now. It's probably the way I've screwed things up here on my viewer.
Is everybody else seeing my screen?
Yeah, Nancy, yeah. You might go down and click on Zoom and see if you right click on it and see if you can see all the windows.
Well, I see. I mean, I'm looking at all this. I did gallery view, dynamic gallery, multi-speaker. It's
okay. There. And I did want you to know one other shortcut. I have put everything, all the videos are on a YouTube channel I created for my Pod Indie group a while back, and they're all public videos. And I will send you the link to my YouTube channel because all these are YouTube videos that are on Heartbeat, but they're also all over there too. It's got other stuff in there, but they're available, over there as well. So I'll send you the link in the chat here in a minute on that YouTube channel, just so you have another way to get to them. You might find easier to get to them. All right, any questions about that before I turn over to Craig here?
Nancy, are you seeing the screen yet?
No, I am not.
So let's see when it changes over.
I mean, usually it should work, right? But I don't know why.
Yeah. You want to try to share your screen and maybe we can see what's going on?
Yeah, sure. Send request.
Okay, I'm allowing it.
So let me go share screen. Voila.
You see it now?
See, that's what I'm seeing. So I'm seeing it somewhere. See these things here?
I'm not quite understanding you, Nancy.
Oh, hide screen? Maybe that is it?
Yeah, so we're seeing a word processing document.
Yeah, so if I go there, I'm going to go large, right?
Now we're seeing nothing. Do you have dual screens?
I do have dual screens, but are you just seeing the trees?
That's all we're seeing is the trees.
Oh, that's strange. There, you see it now?
Nope.
Oh, that is so bizarre. Let me jump out and I'll come back in. Maybe that'll solve it. Okay. All right. Bye.
We'll talk about you while you're gone.
All right.
Thank you.
All right. Does everybody else get it? I guess. I just want to make sure everybody else is getting it.
Yes. Yes, I can see I can see you just fine.
Yeah, and then you can, if you want to, on this area here, you can, check off if you know, watch the sessions or whatever. And but basically over here, you go to your heartbeat and oh, here's Nancy coming in again.
That instruction was helpful, Brad, because I was just earlier looking through to find last week's video since I wasn't here. So
And
this
I'll
gives me a
send,
direct route instead of this taking the scenic route to get to it.
yeah, and I'll send you the YouTube channel in the chat here in a minute. So
Okay.
you can all go there and it'll have other stuff on it, but it'll be pretty straightforward to see the videos for this as well. Nancy, are you
Okay.
getting it
I
yet? Or
see
you
it now.
You do?
Yeah, so it must have been something I did this
You,
group
you,
settings.
you see my you see my
Zoom is-
screen?
Yep.
All right. Well, just to refresh again real quick, you go over here, left-hand side, AI author file folder is where you get the uh, section 2 all session videos. You view it here. You've got all the videos here. There'll be a new session 5 put in after today's session. The paper clip thing here is where you get all the other stuff at.
Yeah.
Okay,
Okay,
that's
thank
pretty
you.
much what you need. And the backup or whatever will be the YouTube channel. It's called Podcast Independent YouTube channel. And it's what I use for other stuff I do. All right, everybody good?
Thank you.
All right, so Craig is going to just share a little bit about Claude, and then we're going to get into some Q&A. So, Craig, you ready to share your screen, buddy?
Should be sharing it.
Okay, I'll hit stop share for me then. And are you up? I don't see your screen yet.
I see it.
I see it too.
Oh, okay, I got it now.
You got it.
I just had to
Okay.
click a button on my end. Okay. All right,
So
we're good.
Let me get a little bit technical for just a second and explain the differences in the Claude ecosystem. So Claude is just the AI chatbot that most of us are used to. It's just like ChatGPT or Gemini. It has differences in some of its capabilities, but it works the same way. And excuse me, Zoom always puts the video windows in the least useful place. So I'm in the Claude app in Mac OS. There's also a Claude app for Windows that gives you access to just the normal chat. And this is just normal chat stuff. There's also Claude Code, which is what the developers use. It has a lot of capabilities about writing files to your computer and accessing all the files in a folder and some things like that. But Anthropic, that makes Claude, found out that a lot of people who weren't developers were using Claude Code to do regular work. And so they developed Cowork, which is kind of a chat wrapper around Claude Code. So the big thing to remember here is if you want to write files or create files, do anything with files directly, you probably want to be in Cowork. If you're just chatting, like you're bouncing ideas back and forth, if you want it to write a chapter that you're going to copy and paste into Google Docs or something like that, chat is probably fine.
So could you explain that again? The Cowork is for.
Well, let me actually show you.
Okay. And do you have to? I'm paid for it. So, but I'm paying for Claude. Do I have to pay an additional for Cowork or?
No, I don't believe so.
Figure out how to get into
But you
Cowork.
can only. I'm glad you asked that question though. You can only access it through the app. You can't get at it through the web.
So you can only access it on your phone?
No. So there's if you go to Claude app for Windows,
Okay.
there'll be a link,
Okay.
and you'll have an app that will look something like this. I don't know exactly what it looks like because I don't use Windows, but it'll
Will
be
it work?
something
Will
like
it work?
this.
Will it just sorry, it connects to your
Yeah.
subscription? Okay.
Yeah, it's going to ask you to log in and
Okay.
send you through the normal thing where you have to log in, and then it'll be fine.
Okay.
And it's actually the app is really good. And you'll have these three little tabs up here: chat, cowork, and code. And you can ignore code. But one of the things that I like about cowork is it does a lot more independently.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of what they call agentic AI, where it just does its thing with minimal interaction. So I will start cowork on something and then go do other stuff and come back and it'll be done. Or not. You know, it may not be.
You can do stuff in another section of Claude.
You can. So, I've had once or twice where it says you've got too many sessions going. But it's only happened like once, maybe twice.
Okay.
So I don't have much trouble with it. So in kind of a meta level thing, I asked Claude Cowork to create a slide deck, an overview of Claude Cowork and how it relates to Claude and Claude Code. Make it for a non-technical audience, focus on creator use cases. Also create a use X when document that spells out when someone should use each of the three tools. Create an accompanying table with the use cases in the rows and the tools in the column. Put an X when you should use a tool for that use case. Give me it in a format that I can edit. Okay? So that's literally all I told it. And it goes through and does a bunch of stuff. It loads up its tools, whatever tools it needs. It runs through and creates the content for the slide deck, does quality assurance, doing a bunch of stuff. So I typed this in, and I didn't type in anything else. That's all I typed in. And I wasn't paying attention, but within 10 minutes or so, I had a slide deck. And not a bad slide deck. And this is a PowerPoint file. So this is actually, you're not going to see it, but if I click on Show in Folder, it just opens up a File Explorer kind of window, Finder in the Mac.
And it's editable?
It's completely editable.
That's great. Cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
I mean, it's just a PPTX file.
Okay.
And I'll show it to you in a minute. Right now, I didn't give it a lot of direction about how many slides or anything like that. I just wanted to see what it would do. But you can see it's got this really neat table. You want to brainstorm, use Claude Chat. You want to pull quotes from podcast transcript. I'm not sure why it said cowork there. Chat would do that just fine. These uses may or may not make any. May or may not be useful to you, but I just wanted to show you what Cowork would do. It also gave me a Word file, and I'll put these up on Heartbeat. This is all formatted, and this is just a regular docx file that I can go in and edit.
I've been getting that in chat as well.
Yeah.
All pretty. And they make
if
it
what
look
you're
fancy.
doing,
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
They make it look fancy. I mean, it's laid out, it's beautifully laid out, and it's clean, and titles and the whole 9 yards with it. Yeah.
And if what you like if things are working for you in chat, keep using chat.
Well, I try both. Yeah, right.
But the thing I like about Cowork is it's much more autonomous. It just goes out and does its thing. I don't have to download the files. It'll put them on my computer. Now, Nancy, a week or so ago, you said something about Claude wiping out people's computers. Cowork.
Well, yeah. Now everybody's worrying about, is it giving you a second brain, or is it going into your financials and screwing things up? There's all sorts of
I just wouldn't use it for that kind of stuff.
No, I wouldn't ask it for that. But I want to do a business plan or a rough business plan and go from there, and then I can go do some edits.
What
not have
I
to worry about it.
what I do is I push almost not everything, but most of what Cowork does, I put in a special folder and set of subfolders. So it's kind of isolated from my other work.
And it won't look across folders if you just put it in its own folder?
I'm sure you could get it to look across folders. You can have it look in multiple folders, if you want to. But I want to sandbox it a little bit,
Right.
not just give it access to
No, I
everything.
wouldn't want to, yeah.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I'd rather do a little bit of manual work myself.
So here's the Claude file. This is where I'm doing everything.
Yeah.
Okay.
But you can see that was one prompt that was, I mean, not terribly detailed. I just kind of told it what I wanted, like I'd tell an assistant who was working for me,
Mhm.
and it does its thing. Now, I came in because I wanted to do this. I said, I wanted to verify that Claude works on top of code. Yes, it gives me an explanation of that. And then I said,
How
okay, I
often does
want you
Claude
to,
hallucinate?
what's that?
Is Claude known for hallucinating like chat or
No, no worse than any other.
okay.
And I would expect fewer hallucinations out of Cowork because it's going to go do more checking.
Okay.
One little trick that it's not going to eliminate hallucinations, but it's going to cut back on it. Tell it to give you the sources. Give me the URL, the web address for any source that you're drawing from, and give me a list of sources. Which I didn't tell it to do that, but Cowork gave it to me.
I have used regular Claude and said, look, is this for real or are you just lying to me? He said, all right, so we have kind of pushed the truth. Or they say, so we did sort of go in the wrong direction and you're right. So I think it's still trying to please you just like chat
Yeah,
does, right? Yeah.
yeah, it is.
It's not being a jerk.
And they're just kind of the raw tools. They're never going to be completely free of hallucinations,
Okay.
just because of the way they work. But you can do some things like asking it for its sources. It'll cut down on it.
Okay.
But I also I wanted to see how it did with revising. And so I asked it to revise the slides, to put in the information about Claude working kind of on top of code. Cowork on top of code. And so it gave me some revised slides. I don't know if it actually put that information in, though. Oh, yeah, it did. See right here, built on the same engine. And then this was, I probably could have done this part in the regular chat. But one downside of Cowork is if you work on multiple computers, because Cowork actually works with local files, a chat session from Cowork on your laptop is not going to be available on your desktop. So like I was at the coffee shop this morning meeting with one of my doctoral students, and if I did something in Cowork there, the session is not going to show up in Cowork here. Now the files, if I put them in, like this is all in my Mac Documents
So you just
folder,
put it in
which is
folder.
synced through iCloud. The files would be available if you put it in a cloud storage area, but the sessions, the chat sessions, are not. Did everybody understand that? Okay.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And you know, that may not, most of the time that doesn't matter, but it kind of frustrated me because it wasn't clear. So I'm looking for something on my laptop that I done on my desktop and I can't find it, and I'm wondering out what's going on. But that's the deal.
Well, Craig, quick a follow-up question to your point. So if that's the case, right, would you be able to save the chat, on your desktop so that you can make it available or upload it to the cloud so you can access it on your laptop?
No, not that I know of.
Okay.
But what you could do if you wanted to be able to work on multiple devices, you might ask it to create a markdown file
Okay.
that gives you all the information you need from the chat, so you can put it in to another the session, so you can put it into another session.
Okay. That makes sense.
So,
Thanks.
but that one made me crazy for about a half an hour. Crazier, as my wife likes to say.
So it would transfer. I mean, if you had your Cowork open on your Apple MacBook and it was an app, and then you went to an iPad and had it there on an
It
app,
will,
it
it
will it,
will,
will-
it will not be there.
even though it's an app on the iPad.
Yes. Yeah, it's a technically challenging thing to do because it's working with local files. And supposedly it's in the works for the future. But it doesn't, like I was doing my Mac Studio and my MacBook Air. So all the same, environment, and it's just not going to work. If it's something you want to be able to pull up anywhere and continue the chat session, use chat.
Okay.
And you kind of, it's like all of this. You've got to play around with it a little bit to see kind of what's going to work for whatever it is you're trying to do. You can see I play around with it a lot. But it can do some really good stuff. So this one's probably not going to mean a lot in this particular use, but it'll give you an idea of what it can do that's pretty slick. So we have this conference, and we had trouble with the system that was used to submit papers to the conference. There were some technical issues with that system, and we needed to get a list of all of the papers with every author listed. And sometimes there are 4 or 5 authors on a paper, and all of the author contact information. It was in 2 different areas of the reviewing system, the submission system. So I just downloaded both of the spreadsheets exported the data from the 2 different parts of the system, said, give me a single file that has all of this stuff put together and matched up by paper. And in, I don't know, less than a minute, I had it. And it would have taken me, half hour, 45 minutes to do it by hand, and I probably would have screwed something up. And so this is the kind of thing that Cowork is really good at. So if you ever have something like that that's really frustrating, give it a try. All right. So let me show you another one that gives you a little bit more sense of the power. So I just wanted to see how this worked. So I said, give me sorry, I'm rearranging windows again. Give me a 2,500 word essay on living a flourishing life. How living a flourishing life is viewed from different philosophical traditions, include Western, Eastern, and at least 1 or 2 from the global South. We talked about the skills last time, so I told it to use the Write Like Craig skill. And this is all stuff we could have done just in regular Claude and chat. But then I created a copy editor skill, which I'll talk about a little bit later. I said, I want you to use the copy editor skill to revise the essay. Give me 2 versions, version 1 and version 2. And then I just let it go. So it does its thing. It writes the essay. It gives me a copy edit report.
Nice.
So some of you have worked with copy editors.
Mhm.
They are irritating and almost always right. which makes them even more irritating. And so they'll do stuff like this. Well, you know, the quote is from Ross's 1908 translation, but the citation points to a 1999 Hackett edition, which has a little bit of a difference. It's like, okay, literally nobody but you cares about that, but it's right.
Yeah. That's really good, though. I mean,
It's pretty remarkable, yeah.
yeah.
And somebody might like
Yeah, somebody might.
give you the finger, that finger.
Yeah.
I told you
Yeah.
so.
I've gotten the other finger a lot in my life.
I know. Well, I was just being polite. There was the mother
Yes.
finger, right? This is the mother finger, not the other finger.
But it's now here's this is so meta. What I didn't really point out is I didn't write any of this. So Claude is copy editing Claude.
Interesting.
Wow.
But this is a little trick to get a chat bot to review itself, or if you have multiple chat bots, get one chat bot to review or critique the other chat bot's work. Here's some things that are flagged for the author's decision. And we don't need to look at all of this. But look at the level of detail. Okay, it's consistently italicizing foreign words, book titles, whether or not Stoic is capitalized, the citation format, style,
Could make me look smart.
avoids every AI I was scanning for.
You and me both, Nancy.
I just had to throw that in there. Smarter.
Smarter, right? Exactly.
There we go. How's that?
Yeah, there you go.
So,
That's really good.
and then we've got the two versions. I didn't check to see if it was actually 2,500 words, but it kind of looks like it.
Can you get it to break out some of the points or its notes or edits in a different color? Because sometimes when you're reading through this, it like just all blurs together. So I'm just wondering if there's some way for it to.
Like a red line version or something, so
Yeah.
you can see what the new what the
Exactly.
additions are.
Well,
Right.
let's find out.
Yeah, I'm used to seeing
Also,
it that way
also,
too.
just as a side note, I went into regular Claude this morning, and it said popped up like, oh, here's a new window. We can do Claude and bring in all your previous chats. You want to give it a try? And I did. I was like, whoa, like, but how do I get back to that? And how do I curtail it to keep within a certain chat or it wasn't Claude chats, it was conversations.
Oh, I don't know. I haven't seen that yet.
Yeah, it just popped up this morning. So
Oh, I'll have to
Claude
see that.
conversations, yeah.
And you see how it goes.
Oh, and I just learned the other day, notebooks will work in Gemini as well.
Yeah, I have not played with that a lot.
You have a
But
friend
I
who was using it, and the slides were like blow
much-
you away. I
much
mean,
better.
they were amazing that he could his slide deck with it was amazing.
I think what it does is isn't it pulling Notebook into Gemini?
I'm not sure whether it's pulling Notebook into Gemini or Gemini is being pulled into Notebook.
I'll try to play around with that before
Right.
next week. Because
But
it's
the-
in Gemini now. If you go into
Yeah.
Gemini, there's a notebook thing at the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
If you go into Plus, like you were going to upload a file, there's now a Notebook LM.
Option. And what does that pull in from Notebook? I mean, just everything that's in the notebook?
Yeah, I mean, it just gives you one thing that says note that whatever the notebook name is.
Yeah. Okay. So you can't specify then what you would want it to pull from Notebook to upload into. So once you click the plus, select Notebook or, Mustard, whatever, it'll pull up every source, chat, asset, or
I,
artifact you create and add that to or upload that to Gemini then?
that's what it looks like.
Okay.
But I
Okay.
don't know. But that's what it
Okay.
looks like to me.
Okay.
I like how Notebook is, it seems more, I say organized is not the right word, but it's just visually easier to keep things organized the way they've their user interface has been set up.
Hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I like the three panel thing
Mhm.
and the
Mm-hmm.
ability to make a note a source and to make a chat output
But even
a
just creating
note.
another notebook, it's like a chunk. There it is. You can go in
Yeah.
that's my notebook file.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it just seems a little bit more organized. Sometimes like the stuff on the side here, it's recent chats like, oh God, how do I find it?
Oh,
Well, you can do a search, but still.
whoops. Yeah, yeah, Gemini, it's not working for me at all.
Okay.
But Gemini was a little flaky with something earlier today. Um,
Probably depends on how much press they're getting and who's going in there and how much
yeah,
traffic they've got,
yeah.
right?
And when a feature is relatively new, it's not unusual for it to have some trouble.
Everybody's going to the new candy store.
Yep. It may have been too general of a prompt too, because I just said create a slide deck based on this notebook. So
Mm.
that might have been a bit much. All right. So, but I mean, it's answering the question I just posed. Although I got your uploads may be too large for the best results message from
Okay.
Gemini. All right. So while this is working, um, what sort of questions do you all have? Have you all gotten very far in the process or?
I'm just I'm just been using Claude to help me today and in the past with or the past couple of days with summaries, podcast summaries. So I've uploaded and trying to get it to condense what I want so it's not, like a dissertation. I don't need to be a professor. That's your job. But
I like it.
yeah, yeah. But what I have found is that in the past, I think I've been really playing with Claude for probably the past 2 weeks, maybe 2.5 weeks, is that as it relates to my podcast, and I don't know if this has to do with the work that I'm doing here and pushing it, or something else, but my downloads have significantly increased and the attention that it's getting in the poll for the show. So that
Nice.
I find kind of interesting. And what I've been doing is I've been saying, so do it with the SEO and GEO, focus on Apple Podcasts and Spotify and Google searches and any sort of AI kind of thing. So I get generic and broad there. But then I've been specific saying I'm looking to attract, and I give it a number like 5,000 new potential listeners organically without reaching bots.
And it's working.
And it seems to be, I mean, there's no true way to find out if
Yeah.
it's as a result of that. But yeah, it's almost a full 100% increase in downloads and listens
Wow.
over last month. Yeah.
That's huge.
It is
Yeah,
really good.
so I mean, I'm still not, I'm not getting like a thousand downloads a show,
But still,
but even still, looking at, I was trying to figure. I was talking to Jen Hardy the other day, and she says, "Well, what's your downloads?" And I gave her the numbers, and she said, "Well, you're actually in the top 25% of podcasts." So it was like if you get over 100 downloads in the first
for
7 days,
7 days. Yeah.
right, you're which I was, which before I would get three.
Nice. Nice.
So
Yeah,
that's
that's very,
I'm just keep pushing and playing with that a little bit to see what's going to happen. And today I'm going to push a longer summary to see if that makes a difference. I don't know if
So
people
you're just
really read
talking
the
about
sums.
using this for your SEO tools?
Well, I'm using it in podcast summaries, and I'm saying, let me see what I did. I'll just go back to one here. So I just said something to the effect of, here's where it was. I'll give it. I started a bit to be too long, but I'm just here is it. So I just it started something, gave me some titles I wanted. I said, okay, now let's work on a strong podcast summary with an aggressive SEO, GEO for Google and also for Apple Podcasts and Spotify searches. I want to reach 9,500, and I gave it an odd number, like 9,500 new listeners organically through aggressive SEO and GEO. And I also want to apply NLP principles and let it run. And they said, okay, here's the full package. And then I said, okay, this is too long. I need to tighten it up. I needed to make it sound like it's written for a fifth grader, which I find in general, you know, I don't need like 6-syllable words. I'm not a professor. That's not my audience. And
what's with the professor digs today? Come on.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I love
Sitting
professors, right?
here. My dogs love me.
I
I should
know.
say.
We love
Everybody
you. We
else
love you
may,
too.
but
But I'm not an academic. I'm an applied theorist. So whatever you want to call it.
when Dave, I was
I
on
do. I don't
Dave's,
teach. Okay.
I was on Dave's, whatever his podcast was, where he would critique your podcast and
Yeah, yeah.
website. And when they were telling me, they said, well, you use this big word here and nobody talks like that. And it's like, yeah, professors do. I am a
Right.
professor.
Right.
I did, and we're not your typical audience, right? So,
That's right.
Stay true
So
to yourself.
that's right. That's
or
right.
as my mom would say, go look it up.
That's right. It's the age of authenticity. Isn't that what they said today
Right.
during lunch with
Yep.
Oh,
Dave?
and I
That's
think
true.
that word authenticity is so overused. Oh,
Well, especially since it's usually inauthentic.
of course, right?
Uh,
Yeah.
That's funny.
so now we've got our copy edited file. So I'm really curious as to see what this is going to look like. But the level of detail, yeah, there you go.
Oh, look at
Oh,
that. Yeah.
nice. That's nice.
That's pretty sweet.
Very nice.
Yeah, because then you can sort of reject or accept the red line as you want it.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I like
yeah.
that. Or the
But this
red
is the kind of
line.
thing. I mean, if you look right here, italicizing that is not something I would have thought about, but it's a good idea because it's a non-English word. Yeah. I learned something. I didn't know it was supposed to be lowercase am in under Chicago
I've heard it
style.
both, seen it both ways. Yeah.
Okay.
Scoutmaster is one word. Okay.
Oh, see, I never would have thought that one. Yeah.
Nice.
The professor
Yeah.
learned something.
Very
So,
nice.
Doreen, to answer your question, or whoever asked, maybe it was Nancy.
I
Yes.
did, yeah, the red line.
Yes, it will.
Yeah, the red line. Yeah. Nice. That's good to know.
Yeah, but that's pretty slick.
Yeah.
And it's, you can't really see it. I'm going to switch screens here, maybe.
That was an Opus 4.6 I saw, Craig. So that
Yes.
probably makes
Yeah.
a difference. Okay.
And I pay the $100 a month for Claude Max. So I use Opus a lot. You might use Sonnet and see if that works okay for you because you can get more use out of it.
How can
Okay.
you,
Can
I
how
show
can you
you
get
my
from
Finder
Sonnet to
window?
Opus? I mean, when you're in Claude,
I'll show you in 1 second.
just open a
So
new
you-
chat.
So you can see that this is the folder it's working in. And so there's the document it just created. So it's there, and
Oh, cool.
now I know you're not going to see it open, but if I double click in this, it's just a Word file.
Great.
So it's no different than any other Word file.
Okay.
So you pick your, and Nancy, did you ask about picking the model?
Correct.
Yeah, you just click down here, kind of like with ChatGPT, and pick the one that you
Down where I
want.
can't see.
Oh,
Your screen
sorry.
disappeared.
That would be helpful, wouldn't it?
Because I'm just presuming I'm doing in what I'm supposed to do.
Yeah, it's just here.
Oh, down there. Okay. Oh, I see. Yep. Okay. And Opus
So,
is what you would normally do for most. I guess that's what I've been doing for most. And then Sonnet is for just
Sonnet's
efficiency.
pretty good, but I use Opus because it's better. But
And
there
do
are
you always
probably a lot
want
of
the
things.
extended thinking on or no?
I don't know that it has extended thinking.
Oh, mine does.
Does it?
Yeah.
Are you in Cowork?
No, right now I'm in just general Claude.
Oh, okay. Uh,
So I click on Claude.
yeah. So, yeah, it has it in Claude. It doesn't in Cowork.
Okay. Would you recommend leaving that on or no? Well, if I'm
Mm,
just doing a summary, I don't necessarily
well,
need that.
so my general rule of thumb is I want to shoot for kind of the middle a lot of times.
Mm-hmm.
So I would probably try without extended thinking. If you're not getting good answers, turn extended thinking on, or if you're not in a hurry, turn it on.
I'm
The,
getting
the
good
problem
answers.
is
They're just like long.
you could, and you could go through your quota more quickly.
Ah, okay. That's good to know.
Um, I'll show you a fun thing. Oh, never mind. I don't want to show you that because it would be boring for you. Um, so that's co-work. Let me check my notes and see if I've forgotten anything. Yeah, so that's kind of co-work. Um,
Greg, do you have to know if there's a tier below the $100 level for that?
yeah, you should be
Yeah.
able to get at it through the $20.
20. Yeah. That's what I
Okay.
thought.
I mean, and I would not go to the $100 as long as the $20 isn't shutting you out. So if you're using it so much that you're burning through whatever its quota is, and you start not being able to do work, then you might consider the $100
Yeah.
a month. But as long as the $20 is working, don't pay the $100.
Yeah. Okay.
I
I
don't think
thought
it
there,
gets you.
I'm
I don't
getting
think it
ready to
gets you
pull
any
the,
more capabilities.
I'm getting ready to pull the trigger on it pretty soon. I just kind of want to see what the options were that way.
Now I started drawing my Social Security check, and I decided I was going to spend $80 of it on upgrading Claude. So,
There you go. That's the guy.
yep. Um, all right. You get a sense of kind of what co-work can be good at?
Yeah, it looks awesome.
Yeah.
It's pretty slick. It's pretty slick.
Question
Um,
then regarding the file the downloaded files that you showed us in your folder. So I'm assuming that when you did that, you set it up so that it would point directly to that folder,
yeah,
then, right? Okay.
yes, that's an excellent question. So when you set up a new task, it's going to show you what folder it's working in. And generally it just defaults to the last folder it was working in. So if
Okay.
you click on this down arrow, it'll show you a bunch of folders and it's kind of folder history. If you click on choose a different folder, you get a regular Finder or Windows Explorer type window and you choose which folder you want it to go in.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
You can choose multiple folders,
Okay.
and you'll see multiple check marks there. I don't necessarily want to do that with this one, but you
Sure.
can.
Okay. And we're fairly
Um,
certain that's where it'll stay in that folder that you designated then. Because
yeah.
to Nancy's point earlier about the,
Green's
security.
the
Oh, yeah,
security
yeah.
girl. So
Yeah.
yeah, we
Well,
gotta watch
and
that.
Yeah.
we didn't see it, but it will ask
Yeah.
you for permission before it writes to that folder the first time.
Okay. Okay.
So, but I never tell it to delete anything.
Okay.
I figure if I've got an extra file somewhere, I can always delete it myself. It's, you get into trouble when you tell it to delete a bunch of stuff.
Right.
I think I mentioned this last time. I had it clean up my downloads folder just to see what it would do, and it was fine.
Oh, okay.
But I
This
kind of didn't
time.
care if I lost all the stuff in the downloads folder. It wasn't
Yeah.
that big a deal. But
Yeah. Okay.
but I
That's
use
cool,
this. I mean, you can see I use it a lot.
That's neat. Yeah.
Um,
That is neat.
yeah.
That looks really neat.
You can use projects. The projects don't, you can't have one project working across Cowork and chat.
I'm sorry, you
So
can or cannot?
you cannot. But what
Okay.
you can
Okay.
do is you can set up a project and, it's kind of cut off here. Hang on. I'm sorry, you can't see it right now, but there's a way that you can pull in. See if I can do. This a little bit easier. There's a way that you can pull in a folder from, a project from chat. So it's like copying it, but like in the old days when it doesn't sync, you're not on the cloud, you're just copying it from one computer to another.
Mhm.
So if I pull in a project from chat to Cowork and then update that project in chat, it will not update in Cowork.
Okay.
But what I found a couple of times is I was working on something in chat, then decided Cowork might be better. So instead of having to recreate the project, I just pulled the project in
From chat into
from
Cowork.
chat into Cowork, right?
Okay. Nice. It's pretty good.
All right, I want to show you this copy editor skill, and if it's not already in Heartbeat, I will put it in there.
Okay.
And so I created this with the skill creator skill, and you can see all of the stuff that it will do. And this could all be edited if I didn't like some of it. But it even builds in some kind of fact checking, although it may just be you need to check this fact. Some inconsistencies. So what you could do is edit this skill to put in anything that might be particular to you. So there might be some term that you use that you always want spelled a certain way or something like that. You can add that to the skill. And I also had Cowork create a little overview of how you could build the same sort of thing in a custom GPT.
Mm-hmm.
Although that would be a little kludgier to use.
I'm gonna be outside.
Okay. Sorry. I didn't know there was an N dash. It's a regular dash.
Oh, yeah.
Huh. So this is pretty slick. It's pretty long too.
And you just tell it to use your copy editor or whatever else you want.
Yeah. So when you're
Your
in,
instructions that you put in there.
when you're in chat, in Claude, anytime you want to bring up a skill, it will, if it thinks it needs a skill that it's got access to, it will just use it.
Okay.
But I like to explicitly tell it to use the skills that I've created, like copy editor.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And
you
you
put
just
in
use
slash.
the backslash to do that. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I did backslash. So,
Nice.
but it actually uses a lot of skills that we don't really realize it's using. It just does it automatically. But I will tell it explicitly, like if I want to do the write like Craig or something like that. Oh, this is another. Actually, let me show you this. So I'm going to do write like Craig and then skill creator. Be careful if it doesn't turn blue, it didn't get turned on. So sometimes if you have it right up against another character, it won't pick up on the fact that that backslash is to indicate a skill. So I usually try to put a space just to tell it I'm giving you another skill, but it seemed to work this time.
Okay.
I'll show you one other skill that may not be useful for your book, but it could be useful in general. That is the writing memorability analyzer. So it goes through and will analyze your writing for being memorable.
Very neat.
So Nancy, you could ask it to build an SEO, GEO skill. Kind of
So I
based on
just say,
what
hey,
you've been doing.
build me a skill and ask it to just do that and see what happens.
Yeah, so you'll do a new skill, create a skill, and create with Claude.
Okay.
And it will use the skill builder skill.
To help me do that.
Yeah, to help you do that. I would have some examples ready and, that kind of thing.
Okay.
But it's probably pretty good.
While we're just doing this, I just did I asked it to, I'm in this long, so let me back up. I've got a very long, continuous, I'll call it thread, right? That I've done show after show after show after show under here. Should I break those into different chats?
Probably.
Okay, because I figured I just started with one and then continue on, but I didn't.
Now there's a little trick you can do. Is you can ask it to summarize the most important points from this chat so you can carry it forward into another chat session.
Okay, all right.
See, what happens is there's something called context rot.
Okay, so it
Just
gets
like
tired.
when we're talking, I don't remember what we started talking about in the first 5 minutes of
It's
today.
zoned out.
Yeah, well, of course, since I'm a professor, I get it. Everybody zones out when I start talking, but
Well, but so did Claude, right? So I'm
yeah,
kinda
but
tired
what
of
it
this.
does, it kind of forgets the early part of a conversation
Okay.
when the conversation gets too long. So if you see that it starts to maybe forget stuff or not be answering as well, and you're in a long conversation, I'll try to pick it up in another chat session. But always ask it. Tell it, I want to pull this into another chat session. Tell me what I need to, give me a document that gives me everything I need to set the context right or something like that.
Yeah, so I just asked it to do, a summary for the show, and it said, look, is this, I had asked it to hit a particular set of skills and people audience that I wanted, and I said, is the SEO and GEO optimization strong enough to reach the people I wanted to? And it said, honest answer, it's good, but it's not strong enough. And then it gave me the reasons why. And it said, you want me to go even? It's like, yeah, go hit it harder. So, so that's where I'm really pushing. It's like, no, like you're getting lazy. Like keep going, see, and we'll see. And I'm testing it to see what happens.
Yeah.
But it seems to be working.
Yeah.
But it's also teaching me, I think, also things like what are key things that I need to mention in a show as well.
So there's I'm
Words.
going to get all professor right now. There's a thing called implicit learning that happens with these chat sessions where you learn without trying to learn.
Yeah,
Like
so
I
it
sometimes
becomes
call
part
it
of your memory banks kind of thing.
stealth
Yeah.
learning.
Right.
Yeah, there was a guy by the name of Ebbinghaus back in the late 1800s that memorized thousands of numbers in sequence just by looking at them on cards over and over and over again. And it's actually called implicit learning. You learn stuff just by seeing it,
Yeah.
without really trying to learn it. And that's what happens with these chats when you're doing something like what Nancy's doing, is you start seeing the same suggestions over and over and over again.
It's like, oh, I should bring like, okay, we should the word tradition and family in the stories to
Yeah.
bring the whole context together. What are we really about? It's
And
about cooking.
so-
It's how do we do it?
Yeah, you'll get better. I mean, it's kind of like when they came out with a red squiggly to show a misspelled word.
Uh-huh.
A lot of people like me kept seeing the same words with a red squiggly, and you just kind of eventually,
Learn how to spell
without
them.
trying to, learned how to spell that one.
Yeah.
So, but that's one of the good things about doing the same thing again and again. You will get better.
Can I ask an unrelated question?
Sure.
So I just installed the chat desktop with the pro level. I do not see a skills panel. Am I missing something?
Oh, yeah, they moved it. So it's under customize
Okay.
up at the top, customize, and then you'll see
Got it.
skills.
Perfect. Thank you.
That's another one that irritated me for about a half an hour because I was looking for skills and couldn't find it, and they moved it.
Yeah, I mean, what is the K for? I'm trying to figure out what this is.
Okay.
Claude prompt templates by keywords. Oh, keywords
lost
everywhere.
me.
I guess I've got it. I don't even know I've got it. That's interesting.
So I wanted to give you a couple of other tips. Dolly, I'm busy. Sorry. Dolly the Jolly Collie came up to visit.
Oh, we had a dog
Hello.
named Dolly.
So you got to settle down. You got to settle down or go back downstairs. Your choice. It's up to you.
Is she a
down.
big one or is she
Super
a little one?
No, she's a full Lassie
Classic collie.
type collie. I don't think we can quite see her here. Come here. Come here. Now she's suspicious. So my wife just went out to do some gardening, so sure she's not happy about that.
We see the goat.
So yes, goat. Using a wheelbarrow around goats is an interesting experience. They would play king of the wheelbarrow.
Don't
So
get a
100
goat.
pounds of goat in a wheelbarrow. They're fighting each other.
Youch.
I had a real point I was going to make. No, I'll be right back.
Okay.
Excuse me for one
She's
second.
getting you back on point.
Oh man, it's so cute. Yes. Oh, Claude seems pretty useful so far.
Yeah,
I need to
it
learn
does.
more about it, but
Yeah. It's just it's
It's
playing
pretty
with it and really
fascinating.
testing it. So
Dolly's been banished.
yeah, for sure. Aw.
Her when we play, I get down on the floor and play with them. Her bark hits like 130 decibels, which is similar to a jet engine.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Wear earplugs, I guess, when you play with it.
Yeah, it doesn't last for too long. So one thing that I've found, even with the write like Craig skill, it will make up stories. So I like to use like an opening story in a lot of the chapters, and it will just make something up. So I need to go in and change the skill to tell it not to make up stories, just to put a note that says insert relevant story here. So if you notice it doing that kind of thing, you may need to adjust your skill or just adjust your instructions. You know, if you don't want to fool around with the skill, you can just tell it, don't make up stories. You know, the term is stub out. Just stub out or put a marker in where I need to put a story. And that works pretty well. I got irritated having to delete the stories, even though it wasn't that big a deal. So I asked it to shift things a little bit. The other thing was I want to show you one other thing.
Oh, underneath, if you go into a new chat, it says like write, learn, code, life stuff, Claude choice.
A new chat.
Go into a new regular chat.
Oh,
Mm.
Can you add something to it? It says I want to learn something. It gives you certain things here, but if you wanted to learn
no.
something else,
I think that's just there to help people get started.
got it. Okay.
Yeah, I this has been kind of useless.
Okay.
So, oh well, maybe it wouldn't be. Manage personal stress. I should use
Oh,
that one.
wow.
We all need that.
Right.
Get your dog to stop barking in your ear. Um, oh, I know what I was gonna. I know what I was going to tell you now. So, just to show you kind of or talk about how the process works, I went through 2 of the 3 chapters that I've created so far.
Mhm.
And I can show you. Let me show you. Maybe.
That you created that are in Notebook, or no?
Yeah, I started out with Notebook.
And then you brought it over to Claude.
Right.
Okay.
And so let me show you kind of this. And
In a project, I presume. Artifacts.
yes, in Claude in a project, yes, absolutely. But what I'm going to show you now is just Google Drive. Here we go. All right, so all these are copy and paste into a Google Doc.
Mhm.
So here's the one from Notebook LM. And it's not bad. I highlighted a couple of things that I wanted to take a look at. And this is not terrible. I would not say modernity. First of all, because it's way too close to maternity, and if I was reading that really quickly, I'd wonder what maternity had to do with algorithms. But so there's some stuff that's not quite the way I would say it, but it's not terrible. There's a little, I'm trying to find some, there's a little bit of AI writing from time to time, but it's doing a good job. Like, I did an article on allostatic load. This is that stress that's just kind of always there. So stress can be episodic where it's because of what's going on right now, but there's also this kind of chronic stress that's related to this thing called allostatic load. But I use the sink metaphor in my article, so it picks that up. That's not to my knowledge, it's not a standard way to talk about it. But when that load gets so much, you get stressed out because it's kind of like the sink overflowing. And until you do something to drain some of that load, your sink's going to keep overflowing. So I did this whole metaphor in an episode. And it picked up on that. And so this was not bad. Oh, I'm sorry. This is Claude. That's why it's so good. I wonder why that was so good. Here's the one from Notebook LM.
Okay.
Sorry, my bad. There's a M dash that I wouldn't have used. And there's some other stuff that I didn't mark.
Did you give yourself a word count on that chapter, for instance?
I
Cargo.
think I told it 2,000 to 2,500 words.
Okay.
It's 2,327. So it was close. And I'm not going to bore you by going through the whole thing, but this is okay. The content is okay here. But the writing is not really my style. Like I would probably not say, why do these substitutes fail to hold? I'd say, why don't these substitutes work? And so then I put this into Claude and said, rewrite it using the write like Craig skill.
Mm.
And that's what this is. Sorry, I opened the wrong one. I was thinking, God, this is really good for Notebook LM. But even it has some things, like I'm not so sure I love this. Oh, I can make this bigger, sorry. I'm not sure I love this sentence.
I've heard
This
conversation.
paragraph is okay. And so I went through and edited this. And let me see if I can. Now we can kind of see them side by side. Whoops, dang it, wrong one. Here we go. So I didn't change this first paragraph too much. I didn't like
Craig.
this in the middle of the 20th century,
Mm-hmm.
so I changed it in the aftermath of World War II.
Okay.
Viktor Frankl was a Holocaust survivor,
Yep.
so I thought that landed a little bit better. Here's another one, and this is a subtle cue. So Claude wrote, the term sounds academic. And I just added a
Yeah, a little bit
to
more
it.
conversation. Yeah.
Yeah, more conversational. So really just kind of final polishing. I probably could have just gone with the one that Claude wrote and it would have been okay. But, you know, I want to go through, put my little thing here, my little mark on it. So one of the reasons I wanted to move away from Century is I'm using Century again here.
Mm-hmm.
And it would just be kind of weird to have Century here and here. And then I went back and forth. Here's another little small change. I wanted to connect to the reader. And so instead of it being about me, I've done this before. It's, yeah, you probably have too. But notice how I told it to avoid M dashes, so it's putting in semicolons instead, which is really more like what I would have used anyway. And I spent half an hour or so going through this.
So then, Craig, to clarify, the one, the document on the right then, or was generated in Notebook LM.
Yeah, no, this one I took from Notebook LM.
Okay.
Put it into Claude, told it to revise it using my Write Like Me skill.
Mm-hmm.
And that produced what you see here.
Okay.
And
So the content came over from Notebook LM, but the Notebook LM writing is going to be kind of generic and AI.
Right.
And so this is what puts it in the Claude bit is what puts it in my voice.
Okay.
And Craig, to get your Write Like Craig skill, you had a sample of your writing of
Yeah.
a few hundred words or whatever it would have been and dropped it in somewhere to.
I probably gave it several thousand words.
Okay.
And there's a whole tutorial about how to do this in Heartbeat.
All right. Good.
In that paperclip.
I thought I saw it in there. Yes. Okay. Thank you.
And if you get stuck on this, reach out to me, and we'll jump online and I'll help you with it. But that's really the key. The two most important parts of all of this are getting all your content into Notebook LM and then getting that right like you skill.
Mhm.
Because
That saves
if
so
you
much
get,
time. Yeah.
yeah, if you get that one right, you'll go from spending 2 hours cleaning up the writing to a half an hour cleaning up the writing.
Could
It'll
you
make
look
a
at,
huge difference.
yeah, could you share what art, I mean, I've got artifacts in my Claude, but I'm not sure how I got them there and what they are used for.
The artifacts, I think, are, let me see.
I mean, they're documents that have come out of it, but
Yeah, so
still
that's
got the
this.
chat. That's all it is. It's just a term that they use as artifacts as your
Yeah, I
documents.
think it's the,
Like you end up getting a PDF or something.
yeah. Yes, but I have not used these in a long time.
If you asked chat about Claude, would it be truthful?
To
Don't
the
know.
best of its knowledge, probably. I'd be more inclined to ask Gemini about Claude because
Really?
Gemini is going to be better at searching the web.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't.
What if Gemini and Claude and Chad met at a dinner party and had a fight? What?
Oh, it would just be a three-way
Oh,
with
yeah.
champagne.
There
There
you
you
go.
go. I don't
Picking
know if they've been
everybody's, how
drinking,
much
there'd be a
cash you
big
got?
rumble. They'd all hug each other and say they love each other at the end
And then
of
go
it.
out for a drink at the local bar.
There you go. So yeah, it's worked out pretty well. I mean, I was very happy with with this process. Notebook LM to get the content, Claude to get the voice, and then a final polish manually.
I
But
have to say,
literally, this chapter, even with the moving, the starting with Notebook LM and then copying and pasting it into Claude and running it through Claude, I'd be surprised if I had more than an hour and a half in this chapter.
Can I ask a question of you, Craig?
Yeah, sure.
And apologize if you covered this last week, and I can look at that if I need to. But how do you create the skill in your own voice?
So let's walk through that real quickly. So you
can I just
go
share a quick
into,
note while you're doing that? Just while you're going through and find it. I used this with Notebook a couple weeks ago to put together a whole plan for the county agricultural so we can get a green belt, and basically wrote a short business plan for them with the application. And the this University of Florida ag person who came out and did a review of our property the other week said, "Well, I've never seen anything so detailed."
nice.
Oh, very
She said,
nice.
"You're gonna have no problem if they do there's something wrong." But I thought it was like, this is like you're like light years ahead of everybody else. So I thought like, oh yes.
But
Thank you,
Very
Craig.
cool.
Thank you. I'll let you know.
I couldn't have gotten my NSF
Cool.
grant without it.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, just the being able to critique and find information for you and, match up the requirements of the grant or whatever it is you're trying to get with what you're writing, it's really good at that.
Yeah.
Claude
Um,
or Notebook or Claude or both?
both,
Both. Yeah.
both. The good thing about Notebook is you can tell it exactly what to reference.
Hmm.
So,
That's very true.
if you have like the regulations or whatever it is that, like for
Mhm.
you, you have those regs, put
Yep.
it in there. You could even take, if there's commentary, there's some YouTube video of some expert commenting on it, you can link Notebook to that YouTube video. So, whatever. Matter of
Yeah.
fact, I haven't done it yet,
Nice.
but I'm going to take all of our videos from these sessions and put them into Notebook. I'm
Oh,
really
there you go.
curious to see what that's going to come up with.
That'd be interesting.
All right, so back to Daniel's question. So you go into customize, skills, and then there's a little plus sign here,
Right.
create skill, and I just do create with Claude.
Okay.
If there's a skill that I've put into Notebook or that you've gotten from somebody else, you can upload it. Like if you want to do that copy editor skill, just download it to your computer and upload it into Claude and it'll be there. But if you want to create one from scratch, create with Claude. You can call it whatever you want.
Okay.
All right. And it's going to go through. And I'm going to do some prep work here. So it's going to ask you some questions. All right, so it asked me a couple of clarifying questions. And then I'll give it some source materials. All right. Okay, and I'm gonna, give me just a second, I'm gonna pull in some writing samples. Give me just a minute here.
And Craig, you said at least at least 1,000 words of your own writing to get
Yeah,
us?
I would put in, probably much more than 1,000
Okay.
is diminishing returns, but
Okay.
I would not make that a hard and fast rule.
Okay.
Let's see, let me give it one more. I'm sorry to be going slow on this, but I want to kind of give
No,
it
it's
some
okay.
things that
I think
actually
I
would
think
work.
it's an important element of our learning here, how to do this part thing right here.
Yeah, and if I'm
Because
gonna,
you want
if I'm
AI,
gonna,
you don't want AI to sound like AI to me. That's one of the important things to me. To be as genuine as possible.
Right.
right. All right, this is probably good enough. And I may come in and redo this and take more time thinking about exactly which samples. The problem that I was struggling with is that I write with co-authors, and I wanted to try to pick something that I primarily wrote
Gotcha.
as opposed to one of my co-authors. But I'm what's known in the academic circles as a direct linear writer. I go straight through. A lot of people do twisty turns and meander around to get to their point, which is fine, but I'm ABC, and it's picking up on that. Short declarative topic sentences, signposting, hedged. Academics always hedge,
But not mushy.
but not mushy.
We don't want mushy.
Right. That's why I don't like beans and peas. So that's the weirdest thing. I hate like chickpeas and that kind of thing when they're cooked, and love hummus. And my wife is the exact opposite. She loves cooked chickpeas and she can't stand hummus. I didn't know that before we got married, or,
Who knows?
That would have been a deal breaker, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, it could have been. Actually,
Don't
in
want a mushy
retrospect, it's
marriage.
good because she doesn't eat the hummus. So
You get all the hummus.
that's right. Get all the hummus.
Combines Nancy's cooking with marital counseling here. Here we go.
There you go. These days, when cooking is reduced to, I don't have the energy to make a grilled cheese.
I'll open a can of soup.
I got to get the can opener out, and you know it's really bad when you just eat a spoon of peanut butter because you're too lazy to get the bread out.
And they've done that.
But you can see, Daniel, that was pretty straightforward, and it creates this highly detailed skill.
Wow, look at that.
Wow, yeah.
And you can go in and
Nice.
edit this. It's in a format called Markdown.
Okay.
That you could pull out and edit and re-upload as a skill. But I've been pretty happy with the ones I've created.
But basically, it takes that prompt, all that text there, and when you write something and you click on write like Craig, it applies that to whatever the next thing you're writing is. Is that what we're
That's
talking
exactly right. It's almost as if you copied this whole thing and pasted it into the chat session.
about? All right.
Hmm.
Can you
really
do that with
nice.
different, I guess you could do the same thing with different prompts, right? Say, this is the prompt I want to use.
Well, create different skills and then invoke the skill.
Well,
that
that's
you
what I'm
want to
saying.
use
The
for that.
skill aid basically becomes your prompt for what you want to do.
No, it's not like a prompt template.
Okay.
This is to give Claude a capability.
Okay. So I couldn't say, this is what I want you to do
No, put
versus
that
this is how I want you to behave.
right. So if you want to have reuse prompts that you use over and over again, the easiest thing to do is to put them in a Google Doc or a Notepad file or
I mean,
something like
I
that.
wish they would just do something that you can say, now you've got your stored prompts.
Yeah, but for some reason, none of them do.
Yeah, I
don't
think
know
Claude
why.
is, Chat was trying to do it, but it's,
Yeah,
yeah, it's not the same.
Then you save skill,
I'm sorry.
and then you
Yeah,
save skill.
yes. And so if you're happy with this, so what you can do is let's say, now I don't really need you to ask what section.
Okay.
I'd come in to chat and say, I don't need you to ask what section. And then it would rewrite this. It would edit this. So you can go back and forth.
Gotcha.
Never invent citations. So there could be something you wanted to adjust in here, and you just adjust that in chat.
Mhm.
And then once it's done, save the skill. Now if I go back into customize skills, there it is.
Okay.
So it's just that easy.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
The big thing is to spend a little time curating the examples you want. We all have work that we're proudest of or that's most indicative of the way you write. Pull those to spend 10, 15 minutes pulling those together and you'll get better results.
Great.
That's
We
been
just-
really helpful. Thank you.
we
Good.
just got a couple minutes left. I'd like to kind of review kind of a big picture process just for a second from my own for my own benefit as much as anything. So I've got like 150 sources in my notebook LM. So in order to just kind of process, we've recorded our podcast episodes and we've downloaded the transcripts, taken my transcripts, my 150 transcripts, put them into Notebook LM, process them through the process we learned the last few weeks. Take what I'm take that content there, uh, drop it into Claude Cowork to process the work even more. Then take it in my case, then take it. You put it into a Google Doc. I probably would put mine in Atticus
Yeah,
to
whatever.
work with it there, and then that's where we're going to eventually come up with our manuscript. Is that
Right.
pretty much where what we're doing here?
The one thing the two little small adjustments. One is once you've got everything in Notebook LM and you've got your organization and all of that, you'll ask Notebook LM to write each chapter.
Okay.
So you'll take the description of the chapter, and the more detailed that is, the better
Right.
results you're going to get. You'll say write a chapter of, give it a range
So-
of words.
The
2,000.
notebook gives me the
2,500 words.
first draft of the chapter,
Right.
so to speak,
Then
because the
literally,
notebook is what's organizing all that data
right.
to in different ways that I want to organize it. Different, different different categories of content.
Not just that, but it's pulling from your content. That's the key part.
That's right.
It's going to pull from your content.
But it's going to organize it. But I can prompt it or tell it how I want to organize it. If I'm going to organize it about cancer, I'm going to organize it about diagnosis and treatment and aftercare or something along that line. I could do that somehow or another in organizing the content and then use that to build chapters.
You can, but what you would do is use that to build out the structure of the detailed structure of the book,
Yeah.
including a detailed description of each chapter. You take that detailed description and use it in the prompt in the chat section of Notebook LM.
Of Notebook LM. Okay.
And then that will write the chapter for you.
Then take that chapter, put it in Claude to punch it up, clean it up,
Right.
do all that good stuff we've been working on today here.
And you can do all of that in regular Claude chat. You do not have to use Cowork for that.
Yeah.
Or you could use ChatGPT or,
Right.
whatever you want to use. I
Well,
like Claude.
I'm a Claude fan, and would do this, and then take it over to an actual word processor,
Right.
whether it's Google Docs or Atticus or Scrivener or something like that.
And the optional piece of that is if you wanted to, you could run the document after you've written it, you've gone through and put your stamp on it. You could take that revised document, put it back into Claude, and use the copy editor skill.
Wow. Okay.
And if you want the inline, the blue line marking, that kind of thing, you would want to use Cowork for that.
Yeah. Okay.
You could try it in chat. It might work. If it does, great. But I know
Well,
Cowork.
I'm gonna be using Cowork. I want to do this the right way. The most effective way.
But remember,
well,
the downside of Cowork is that if you're working on multiple computers, you're not going to see your chat, your chat session from within Cowork on your
Yeah.
other computer.
In my case, I'm doing almost all my work on my desktop here. So
Then that doesn't matter.
yeah. All right. I think we're at time here. Any final good words, Craig, from you or anybody else
No, thanks.
regarding our
And
session today?
This has been
remember,
Thank
really
you.
helpful.
Very
Can I ask
very,
one
very
quick
helpful.
question?
sure.
I know Gemini has a Write in My Voice also. Do you have a sense of which one of those is better, more authentic?
Claude, 100% Claude.
Awesome.
Claude has
Thank
been
you.
the best writer of the big ones for quite some time.
Great.
So-
Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Well,
Very
And
helpful.
remember, if you get stuck on anything, Craig at AIGoesToCollege.com, and I'm happy to jump on a Zoom and help.
Thank you for your
Right.
patience. Your
Well,
Professor.
Yep,
Very
anytime.
good. Very good, everybody. I'll have this posted maybe later tonight by midday tomorrow. You'll have this in Heartbeat. I think I sent you the link earlier for the YouTube channel. Did you all get that earlier in our chat? If you didn't, you might want to hit the three dot thing to make sure you get that. So you can get everything on the YouTube channel called Podcast Independent as well. And we'll have a regular session next Friday, and that's
3/2. Yep.
that's our fifth or sixth session. I forget which
That's
one
our
it is.
fifth session, fifth regular
And
session.
today's our fifth session, I think.
It's gone by
No,
fast.
today's an
Thank you.
extra session.
Yeah.
So,
Well,
think that's
whatever.
right.
We're meeting next
Yeah.
week. We're meeting
That's
next
right.
week.
We'll meet next week.
And
Connie, I hope you're feeling better soon.
yeah, appreciate that. Hope
Thank you.
I hope
Yeah.
everybody's feeling better, and we'll get back with it. Happy spring to everybody, and
Thank you.
thank you.
All right.
see you later. Blessings
See y'all
on
later.
you.
Take care.
Thank you. You
Bye.
guys too. Bye bye.